So we have here the 2025 WNIT postseason tournament announced. They have a preseason WNIT. Featuring teams are like WNIT worthy or like top teams that have been or in the NIT recently or something. Maybe I don't know, I'm not for sure but how that works. But they do have a preseason WNIT. And they have a postseason WNIT. This is a postseason WNIT. And it's 27 postseason WNIT. It's Triple Crown Sports. And it's like a third non-NCAA affiliated event. But it is a NCAA postseason tournament. Or it is an official. It is not like official in the NCAA's eyes, and that the NCAA doesn't run it. It's like subcontracted through through Triple Crown Sports. It's like they run it and host the event, but it's still an NCAA event, like an NCAA like an NCAA postseason tournament. It's just not official as it's not ran through NCAA. It's like an official NCAA like sponsored and ran one, like one that was created by the NCAA, but the NCAA honors it as a chance, for more teams to participate in that tournament. So WNIT qualifiers are the highest regular season finishers in our conference did not receive a bid in the NCAA or WBIT. So you usually have 31 WNIT qualifiers in the WNIT because 31 conferences, so you have 31 WNIT qualifiers. There's only some, not every WNIT qualifier is listed here. And there's not every team, not every conference did get an WNIT qualifying spot. So they're kind of going away from the WNIT qualifying. Like one team from every conference has to make it here, like the ACC, the Big East, the Big 12. You have to get a team in from every conference to make it teams that are a little bit weaker in conferences. And some teams, some teams like opted out of playing in postseason tournaments. Like some teams opt out of playing some teams opt out of playing in like second tier postseason tournaments or third tier postseason tournaments. Like some teams, like on the women's side, they opt out for playing in WBIT or WNIT. Some schools do. Like on the men's side, I know it's more. I know on the women's side, it might not be as common, but it's not like super. It's not maybe it's a little common, but it's not like a little bit. But it's not like super common. The men's side, especially the NIT, you see some schools do decline or NIT bids, and then we do have some more like teams or like the CBI, CIT, and men's side. More some of those more mid majors, especially in those conferences. The college basketball crown. You have like mid majors, teams that are lower on the totem pole make it those tournaments. Lower record because of that. We have Army West Point as the qualifier of the Patriot League, Bryant of the American East, Central Arkansas the Sun, Howard of the Mid-Eastern Athletic, Linwood in the Ohio Valley, Longwood in the Big South, Seton in the Metro Atlantic, Stonehill in the Northeast, Charleston State in the Western Athletic, Texas Southern in the Southwestern Athletic, and Troy of the Sun Belt. And we have teams that are at large. We have Abilene Christian gets at large out of the Western Athletic. Air Force is one, might be the Mountain West on that qualifier. Well, the team from the Mountain West, though, that makes it. I don't know if they're not necessarily on that qualifier per se, but they're the team that makes it of the Mountain West also. I guess you could call them the Mountain West. Like automatic team. We have Alabama of the Southwestern Athletic. Buffalo is the Mid-American team. Yeah, Mid-American team. Butler of the Big East, or the Big East team. Not every conference has a team, so I guess they're not like IMAC, but some of them might have that were the IMAC qualifier might have said we're not participating in the WNIT. You know, like a lot of schools I know they want to participate in that, especially like majors. I would think you'd want to participate because that, like, especially like some of these schools, like I know like Minnesota, my team, they want to participate in there because they want like to receive like we're not necessarily make it to these postseason tournaments. But also it shows that like you can actually like give these student athletes like they worked hard, to earn this postseason trip to a tournament, whether it's the NCAA tournament, the WNBIT, WNIT. They actually earned it, and which honestly I think they should, if they are, whatever postseason tournament they earn their way in, they deserve to play in it, That's what I think. So we have Butler of the Big East, Campbell's of the Coastal Athletic we have, and then we can actually talk about these records too. On West Point 24-7, Bryant 17-14, Central Arkansas 23-9, 21-11 for Howard, 21-10 for Lindenwood, Longwood 22-11, Sandus 17-13, Snow 17-15, Charleston State 20-13, Texas Southern 16-15, and Troy 20-13. And then Abilene Christians 20-12, Air Force 18-14, Alabama is 21-10, Buffalo is 25-7, Butler's 15-17. So there's some teams that are under 500. There's a game under 500, Florida and Boston College. Butler's the third team, 2 games under 500. You have Campbell 21-12 out of the Coastal Athletic, Chattanooga 16-14 out of the Southern, Cleveland State 24-9 out of the Horizon, Subbelt Coastal Carolina 23-8, Colgate 23-9 the Patriot, College of Charleston, another team out of the Coastal Athletic 24-7, Common State's 18-14 out of the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, Duquesne 19-12 out of the Langston, 21-11 or 21-12 Illinois State out of the Missouri Valley Conference, Lipscomb 20-11 out of the Lac Sun. Indiana Tech a game above 500, just barely 500 or above, above 500. 16-15 of the Conference USA. 19-11 is Manuel, the Mid-American, and Navy of the Patriot. Mexico State is another Conference USA team. We have so far the 4 and 5 seeds out of Conference USA. And then we have North Dakota State out of the Summit League in 1911. North Texas of the American Athletic. They're the 2nd seed, as South Florida got the 3 seed there in the NCAA. UTSA is 1 seed in the American, and they're the only American Conference team to make WT as the MAC qualifier. And then North Texas makes as a 2 seed of the American Athletic, 24-6. 24-8. Northwest State 16-15 out of Southland. Old Dominion 17-15 out of Sun Belt. Pacific is under 500 as well, 15-18 out of the West Coast. So, and then we have Purdue, Fort Wayne 25-8 out of the Horizon League. Rutgers 11-18 out of the Big Ten. St. Mary's is 14-16 out of the West Coast. So we have now 4 in the start under 500. St. Mary's is or Southern is 22-12 out of the Ohio Valley. Tulsa 17-14 out of the American Athletic. 16-15 out of the American Athletic. UAB 14-17 IC of the Missouri Valley. UMass is 16-14 out of the Langton. Utah Valley is 18-12 out of the WAC. Tarleton is the Western, which is Western Athletic Conference. Tarleton is also in the Western Athletic Conference, 17-13. Washington State 20-13 out of the West Coast Conference. So I do like that they actually got rid of the IMAC qualifiers. But I mean, they still do have the IMAC qualifiers, but I think a lot of this is due to opt-outs. Like Rutgers I don't believe Rutgers was Wisconsin could have been ahead of them. You had like the bottom tier teams that like Wisconsin or Rutgers, like Wisconsin. You had Penn State, Purdue, Northwestern that make the Big Ten tournament. But you had Wisconsin would have been the IMAC qualifier, but Wisconsin let go of their coach. So in some of these schools, like the ACC schools, you'd have like Clemson or someone way down deep in there, and they might have opted out. Like the SEC teams are way down the end. Like either they let go of their head coaches like right away, something. I'm assuming that's a lot of what is going on. So that's why some of these teams they have like teams like down lower in there, and some of them they just fill in with teams that want to be in these tournaments, which I don't, which is whatever I guess, but it is kind of what it is at this point because you have at-larges, But hey, it is what it is. What do you do? Then we have the schedule is 1 is 20 through 22nd, so it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then we have and then that also the first day coincides with the first round of the WBAT. All WBAT games are played the same day. Then the WNIT is played over the course of 3 days, and it's work between the two schools that are playing the game, like what time the game is actually being played on, like what day, what time the game is actually being played on, to work between the two schools to best suit them for travel, or depending on like what event is going on. If like a school has men's volleyball that is in the WNIT, they might work the game time around the already scheduled game time for the men's volleyball match. They might, if the men's volleyball match, or they might switch the match schemes or something like that. They'll work around it, essentially, which I kind of like. Which, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what it is. Most of these schools I know that don't have men's volleyball, but so it's not a big deal. But just for if schools did, or they might be like other campus events going on, like softball, like baseball, like lacrosse, like women's lacrosse. And that's kind of what they're working around. You might be working around those events. You know what I mean? On campus. Or stuff like that. Or men's, if these teams are in the men's NIT. Or their postseason tournaments. Like their host at campus sites. It just depends, stuff like that. So, I don't know. So, then we have the 23rd through 25th for a second round, which is Sunday through Tuesday. And then you have, it is Sunday through Tuesday. And then you have Super 16, which is the third round. They call that, instead of Sweet 16, they call it Super 16, or third round. They call it and they don't call it the third round. And then the first round is top 16 teams that didn't get a bye, but not the top 16 seeds. And then it's the 17 to 48. And then round 2 is the 16 teams that won first round games. They play top 16 seeds in the tournament. And then Super 16 is third round, which is March 26th through 20th, which is Wednesday through Friday. And then Grade 8 is March 28th through 31st. Which is going to be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then the Fab Four is going to be that Tuesday, Wednesday. But both games in the Fab Four last year played at the same time, same day. And then championship game is Saturday, April 5th at 3 p.m. Eastern. And that game is on CBS Sports Network. So the only games that are going to be on is if the two Coastal Athletic Association teams, Campbell or College of Charleston, host games, they'll be on Flow Sports. If Butler hosts games, they'll be on the Big E. They'll be on Flow Sports as well. Coastal Athletic Association is CBS Sports Network, So unless CBS Sports Network decides to pick up rights to those games, or Big East if FS1 decides to pick up rights to those games, some of those games, like FS1 or FS2. I don't think they would be. If they anything, they might be on FS1, FS2. And then if Air Force hosts games out, it'll be on the Mountain West Network. The Alabama A&M, the Southwestern Athletic, or them or Texas Southern. They'll be maybe on school websites or like their school thing, or like YouTube if they have YouTube things. Sometimes they have YouTube for their games or school websites or something like that. But they might be on ESPN Plus because they have rights to SWAC conference. So we'll see if maybe SWAC men's more, and they have SWAC women's games. So we'll see. I don't know. And then the Northeast, I know if the Stonehill hosts, they'll be on the NEC front row. And then Summit League, it'll be on the Summit League Network, or like Midcoast Sports Network, which could be the case for North Dakota State because they have South Dakota, North Dakota Sports. And then maybe because they have the affiliation with like Oral Roberts, as or Roberts actually made to the WNIT, so never mind. And then UMass, Lac-10, but usually the postseason it's usually just for Peacock or USA Network or whatever. It's usually just the regular season and conference tournaments. They don't usually do the postseason tournament second tiers. So the only ones would be Rutgers if Rutgers hosted the game. It would be on Big Ten Network Plus. If North Dakota State hosted a home game, it would be on the Summit League Network or Midcoast Sports. One of the Midcoast Sports shows or both. Probably on both. Be both. Especially this time of year, all they have is like softball, baseball games from the schools nearby, and then they would have maybe if one of them had like women's lacrosse, schools have like women's or men's lacrosse, they'd have them. That'd be pretty much it. Or maybe like NBA G League or like minor league baseball. From like whether it's single A, double A, triple A. So and then the Coastal Athletic would be on Flow Sports. The Big East would be on Flow Sports. So there'd really only be 4 games, maybe 6. Maybe on Alabama or Texas Southern, maybe on school websites or in Stonehill. But still, let's look at the bracket. Is the bracket posted? Updated? No, not yet. But actually no, that's just a blank bracket. Well, let's actually look at the schedule here. They should have the schedule of the games. And no, they do not quite yet. They do not have the schedule of the games quite yet. As right now they just announced who's playing in the field, who's on that qualifiers, who's at large, and who's competing in the there. No, they'll need to get posted. They'll just need further clear. They might know who they're playing, like the schools might know who they're playing. Like each school knows who's playing. They're just going to make like, or where it's probably being played, who's the higher seed in the matchup, and where it's being played. They know that, like where they're playing, and who's the higher seed between the two teams. It might be the team with like, say, the better overall record is hosting the game. Between the two teams, or if the higher seeded team that's hosting is not able to host, like in the case of Minnesota and the WBIT. I know they have the state basketball tournaments at Williams Arena for the girls. The second weekend, full week of March, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then they have some at like other games at like I know the finals for all four. Like one's 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. They have at Williams Arena, and then the semifinals of 1A, 2A are at Williams Arena, and then they have quarterfinals like at like other sites and finals like at Mitchell Pavilion and they have some maybe at like Williams Arena, and they have some at like other schools maybe like St. Thomas, or like, they might have some like one using St. Thomas's basketball court, St. Thomas, Minnesota's, or other schools, courts are nearby like Concordia, like some of the Division II school. Maybe they use that, so we'll see how that goes, but that's pretty much what it is. So yeah, but that's what it is. They're using that for it, and then use some of the other ones for the 3rd place, 5th place, maybe 7th place schemes, like sites like that. So for those games, so yeah, but they just have to find out who's playing where and when, what day, because they have 3 days to play. So like when it's the best day, they can affiliate around like other sports that like you know, or who's hosting the game. Maybe one school can't host due to this, maybe regular season games in another sport. I mean, they could move the times of the games. You know what I mean? But they do have it so it's flexible, And if one school can't host the games, due to other commitments they already made in advance, way in advance, like, or in advance of these, of knowing, or way in advance or whatever, then the other team that's like a lower seed will host between the two, opponents playing. So that's what they're pretty much doing. Who's playing, who's playing who. Like the schools that are competing in the WNIT, who you're playing. They might know who they're playing. They don't know like where where they are in the bracket. Like there's no really official seeing the bracket. All they know is, hey, you got a bye in the first round, or hey, you're playing like Utah Valley. Hey, you're playing Texas Southern. Say in the first round. Okay, you guys contact each other. The coaching staffs and like the athletic directors of schools, stuff like that. You contact each other and you work out. Hey, let's say Utah Valley is a higher seed. So hey, Utah Valley. Hey, when can we host? We can host you on the 20th. Okay, sure. But say, hey, Texas Southern says, hey, we can't make out. We're not able to make out till 21st. Okay, well then we'll host it on the 21st then. Okay, deal. And then they'll coordinate a game time. Well, we can host at this game time because, you know what I mean? Because we got this one on, we got that one on, or something. They'll work out times. Or if say Utah Valley can't host, let's say, oh sorry, we can't host the game, do this. Well then Texas Southern will say, okay, we'll host it. And they'll make deals with the school. The schools will make, like, it's good faith, good faith negotiating, good faith negotiating between the two schools. Just like, who, what I mean, who's available to host, stuff like that. So